Hello everybody, my name is TJ Scott, and I'm an estate planning attorney and owner of the law office of Timothy J. Scott. I can be found online at tjslawoffice.com. I'm a Minnesota attorney, and as a Minnesota attorney, I was interested to hear that Prince's probate case in Minnesota seems to be very close to resolving. And Prince Rogers Nelson was born and lived here in Minnesota, in Carver County, in fact, the county that I grew up in. Prince died in 2016, actually April of 2016, and Prince did not have an estate plan in place when he died. No trust, no will, nothing to determine who was going to receive his assets after he was gone. And that means that it was up to the court to determine his heirs and determine who was going to receive. But how is that determined? Well, in Minnesota, we have something called intestacy statutes. And those intestacy statutes, pictured here, say exactly who is supposed to receive, who are your heirs, other than a surviving spouse, when you pass away. Because Prince didn't have a surviving spouse, because Prince didn't have any lineal descendants, any children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, and because his parents are no longer living, it ended up falling to 6 half brothers and sisters who are able to receive Prince's heirs. But, and you might find this surprising, 6 years after the opening of the case, still none of the heirs has received a single dime. And that is borne out in the annual accounting that is required of the overseer of Prince's estate, the personal representative acting here in Minnesota. So if you have more questions or if you want to find out more about Prince's estate, I also want to highlight that here in Minnesota, everything is public. Everything is open, and you can actually find out information about the estate of Prince Rogers Nelson by doing a search for Minnesota courts and Prince's estate, and you can pull up pages and pages of orders and filings that have happened in the Carver County report, in the Carver County probate court. And I'm going to just drag this down and show you this is just 2021 and 2022. There are also documents from 2020, 2019, all the way back to the start in 2016. One of those documents that you might find particularly interesting is a document called the Annual or Periodic Accounting that was filed by Comerica Bank and Trust, and that's a fascinating piece of filing that will tell you exactly what's in the estate and what the heirs can expect to receive when they are able to receive. Again, none have received anything, at least not as of June 16th when this was filed, when the annual accounting was filed. Prince's estate provides us a lesson. This isn't what I'm sure he wanted. This isn't what his half-siblings wanted. It's not what anybody wanted to have happen. Prince would have rather have things go smoothly, probably not be subject to the court, and have things being determined by the court. And you can take control in a way that Prince didn't during his life. You can get an estate plan in place, and you can do so in an affordable way, but you can really save your family some hassle. I'm not going to lie, it's probably not going to save your heirs 6 years of fighting in court, but I can tell you, in Minnesota, a lot of times there are delays built in to the probate system of 6 months, 12 months, sometimes it even takes 18 months to get an estate completely figured out. And it's expensive. Prince's estate luckily has some resources that can pay those expenses. I believe that the final number is something like $156 million, a substantial amount. But I can also tell you that the millions and millions of dollars in attorney's fees and personal representatives fees, and the amount that's going to the IRS as well as the Minnesota Department of Revenue, have all seriously diminished what could have been going to Prince's heirs if he would have set things up in the right way. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. Again, my name is TJ Scott. I'm an estate planning attorney and the owner of the law office of Timothy J. Scott, and I can be found online at tjslawoffice.com.